Hi guys, welcome back. I kind of got a little hijacked on the clusters. I was looking at a video from Terry Colty from the Graphics Fairy. She's one of their design team. And she was making these beautiful little collage folio type thing out of windowed envelopes. And I don't know, I'm just in love. Have you ever seen a project and you're like, I've got to do that? Just have to. This was one of those projects for me. So they're so much fun. And you know how much I love collaging. Anyway, I'm gonna integrate these into my journal, but I'm going to be making these. They're so fun. I've made something similar in the past, but these are just a little bit more simple, just a folding folio, and I just want to show you how I'm going to use it in the journal. And I'm just going to make a couple of those with you guys. Maybe we'll get to clusters one of these days. Oh man, I'm having fun. That's what it's supposed to be about, right? So I found a page, here we go, and I glued this little gal on here because I thought how fun to flip this over the page. It has journaling space here. I put some white, I just threw that little tag in there. It's got a pocket on there. I threw that little Tim Holtz doll, paper doll on there. And then I thought, oh my gosh, is that fun or what? To just take a little clip and you've got your little window. And you can see her. Isn't that great? I just love this. So it's just something that you can clip into a journal or not use in a journal at all. Make it like a little traveler's journal. So I cut a little paper pad, and I was going to show this to you because I thought it would also be fun to just take some elastic or even sew it in if you wanted to, and put a small little paper pad in that as well. And if you were going to do that, you could also take the first page and put a fun little image on there just so you'd have something peeking through. Alternatively, you can put something on there and back it. Maybe I'll do one of them like that so it will always be showing through and it won't be that, but I just absolutely love these. So what I did with this one, because with the envelopes the tendency is to always cut the top, so to use that in a journal it's always going to be this direction, unless the window was down on the bottom, I guess. Anyway, whatever. I did this one so it opened like this so I could use it on this side of a page like that. So these are freebies from Rach and Bella's 100-day challenge. This was too, this paper. It's just beautiful. But I loved these little dresses on those little mannequins. They were so cute. So let's put this aside. I've got some fun elements cut out. I hope you guys are going to like this. I am just, this is one of those things where, you know, you just start making them and can't stop. So simply take an envelope, cut the sides off, cut the top off. That's a single, that's a double. I think I want to do just a single. So let's just start this from the start here. Just take it, cut a little bit off, cut a little bit, oh, actually we're going to cut a little bit more off because it would be too long for a journal page, I believe. At that length, let me just see. Oh yeah, let's take a little bit more off. Okay, and then we're going to take off. So depending on where you want your window, you can either cut the bottom or you can cut the top. Only thing about cutting this edge is that you're only going to have that narrow little space to glue down paper, but you know, I think it's probably fine. I'm just preferring to have that be on the fold. Let's see how we did with that. Yep, we're good. Okay. So now that we've got the orientation, And like I said, if you want to turn that upright, it can certainly go that way on a journal page, or that can be on the bottom. So I'm going to open it up. So I kind of split up my supplies. I had some leftover little pieces from a collage project I worked on recently, that master board with just some different fonts and things. So I kept those, and that's going to really come in handy. And then I did some colorful pages, just some pieces of scrapbook and offcuts, just scraps. And then I have some larger pieces in here. That's actually from that kit that I'm working with in the current journal. Some interesting pieces. And I think probably it's important starting out to pick your theme and your focal point. So I have some fussy cuts in here. I have some birds. I have this Art Nouveau lady. Terry used one similar to her, and it's just so cool. And I love her too, a little kind of country Victorian lady. She's really pretty. She would be really pretty on there. And then I fussy cut some flowers and things like that. So let me go ahead and kind of pick that out, because that will help determine my color scheme and so on. If I want to stick with the floral theme, I really want to use one of those ladies. But you know what? I think I'm going to use one of the ladies for the double one, because I might use her and cover up one of the sides. That's what we'll do. Okay, so that made that decision. We'll put that up there. Let's just see what other flowers I have. I have this really big one, which is interesting. If you just used part of it, might be really pretty. That could be stunning. I think that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so that's my color scheme. So what I'm gonna do after you guys saw that last video, I'm gonna start working and probably stop talking and do a voiceover. I think it works better for me, but I'll come back on at the end for sure. Okay, so I'm just going to, I have a whole pile of papers in front of me with different prints and different styles and some duplicates, those mini pieces of ephemera there, and some nice botanicals. I'm just going to go through and get some of the larger scraps and pick out what I think might go nice with this beautiful fussy cut flower. That is from Cara Brandon's kit. I don't know if I already said that. So we'll just get that. I just wanted to see what kind of looked nice underneath that, and then kind of takes a while to get going. But once you get going, I have to say I made 5 or 6 of these, and once you get going, it really becomes so much easier and quicker. And when I went around the window, sometimes I just put the paper up to the edge, and sometimes I cut the corners. In this particular one, I cut that music paper to kind of fit around that a little bit nicer. When I put on that brown gold splattered paper, I put it on crooked, so I'm just adding this label to kind of make the eye see a straight edge instead of the crooked edge. It works really well. So the inside, larger pieces, more neutral, a lot quicker than the outside. And I tried to use some neutral pieces, so there could be some journaling. You can always add a little piece of, like ivory stationery over that if you wanted to add even more journaling space. Okay, so just getting things trimmed up, giving it a final trim there to get those edges nice. And now I will get that flower, beautiful fussy cut flower, glued on there. I love the oversized flower on the front of that little folio. I think it's really, really pretty. I'm going to get the whole thing inked and trimmed up. And we are going to go to the next little folio. And I'm just going to show you a couple of highlights from the next couple of folios I made. It's the same process. I loved this clock from Cara Brandon's pretty floral junk journal kit, and decided to just fussy cut that out. I thought it would go really nice with that Art Nouveau lady. And so just picked out some papers that I thought would complement that. And we're just kind of jump forward here and show a little bit of this, but basically same thing. Adding the font, different colors, different color scheme, and yeah, that's really pretty. I love that. She could have even been, my two ladies could have been larger, but I went with what I had printed out and fussy cut. But I just think that's really pretty, and I'll use that in a different journal. Okay, so moving on to my last little folio pamphlet I made. This is the one where I'm going to be using that beautiful little country Victorian lady, the blue dress on. I was thinking about putting a pocket on that one on the outside, but I decided against it. I love those birdhouses. I got those images from the Graphics Fairy. And this vintage wallpaper, I got those off the Graphics Fairy as well, and those prints are just my favorite. That's on the premium membership, but you might be able to just go to the Graphics Fairy and search vintage wallpaper and see what comes up. That might be also for the general public as well. All right, we are winding this up. I thought I would finish this one with you guys. This could be one of my favorite. I don't know, I have a lot of favorites. I just love the colors together. This was that like Victorian country lady, and I thought she looked so pretty on that brown. One thing I did realize is that I'm sewing around the window and around the outside of this, and Terry Colty did that as well, and I think it's a really nice finishing touch. However, I don't want to sew through my lady, so I'm doing that, putting her on last. So she's all inked up. I also found this really pretty bow that I think was on Rach and Bella's too. If I can think of it, I'll put it in the description. But I'm thinking that I might put that across there or across the back. Maybe across the back. That makes a statement. It's, if I put it on the front, it might take away from my little gap. Yeah, we're going to put that on the back. So let's get her glued down, because I'm sure she's going there. Oh man, wait till you guys try this. It is all about getting the right images and some fun scraps that match. You can see I printed her out smaller on the other side of this nice cardstock first, and it was too small. And then fussy cutting some focal points. But yeah, love, love, love this project. It's fun to have some different types of elements in a journal, right? So even though you can see a little bit of the, oh, you're going to be able to see a little bit of that through the window, that's okay. You can mirror something on the other side of the window if you don't want, oh no, you won't see it. You're just going to see her elbow. What I was saying was you could put something on the other side of that window if you didn't want to see that when you open it, but I don't think it's a problem. And I love how that drifts into the window like that. All right, let's put this on the back. I think in general, collage gives us a chance to play with color. And that's what I love about it. I've said it before in my videos, but I really like mixing and matching patterns and color. It's something that I've always liked. In fact, when I would take my kids shopping, we would get waylaid in the linen aisle. I would just love to pick out placemats and linens. I think I like my birdhouses. I'm going to put this up here. And my daughter would say to me, as she became more of a teenager, "Mom, you're in the zone." And I would be picking out textiles like placemats and, you know, napkins to match. And man, once I got started on that, oh Lord, she'd be yanking, "Let's go, Mom. You're in the zone." Just a minute, I have to find the right. Oh man, she still teases me about that. Okay, and then this is going to go in here. So I'm thinking about putting a pocket in here. And my first thought was, let's do something that's clear so you can see that beautiful collage paper in the background. But the acetate paper that I have is too thick. So the reason why I thought of that is because I thought if you're adding more, something bulky to a journal, let's try to keep it as least bulky as possible. So what I did with a couple of these over here is, weirdly enough, I used the inside of an envelope with that security envelope because envelopes are very sturdy, so I used that. What I had done was, a while ago, is I coffee stained some envelopes. However, I don't really, you know, because I was covering everything up, I'm like, why did I need to coffee stain them? I didn't need to, because using a white one is just as nice, and I think the window is nicer when you just, you know, start with a white one. So I kind of been using these up as little things. So the envelopes are very sturdy. I like that it has that white there. Okay, so that would be like that. All right, so I am going to put a notch in both of these. I do know that. Okay, let's do a little vintage photo. And I think what I might do, because what's a project without embossing, right? I might just emboss these a little bit. Let me get out my handy dandy stencils and see what I can find that might be nice. Something maybe I haven't used in a bit. Is that the same as that? Almost. It's busy. This is awfully pretty. Oh, I love that one. The writing. Oh my gosh. That's gorgeous. If I was going to decide which stencil I wanted for which one, let's take a peek. So we've got her. So you'll be able to see it through here. We've got a lot of busyness going on there. The writing might be nice there. And then this gal, actually, you're not going to see that through there. Okay, that's fine. You know, I think I'm going to go with the polka dots. Yeah. So we're going to do the writing for this one. Let's just do this first. And this is going to be centered in the middle. I'm not going to be able to go all the way. So I have my three faves, my Gina K Gold, my antique linen, and my speckled egg. And I'm going to use a distress glaze to hold this, which I love. If you watch my videos, you know it's my new favorite thing to do. Thanks to Louise Heinzel. And that was thanks to another gal, which I don't remember her name, for experimenting with that. But boy, it works really well. Just a light coat of that distressing glaze is all you need. See, I have little pieces of embossing here. I'm going to take a little brush on the side and brush that off. Okay, there's one done. We're going to do polka dots, and I'm going to use the speckled egg. Nice, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's put this one here. Put that right on there. I don't really think it needs anything else. I was thinking about washi, but I don't think it needs that. I like that inside. I really do. Oh, yeah. I feel like it's missing something down here, but I might do a couple of, a little bit of stamping with some black stamps, and then we'll wrap things up. I'm putting that a little higher and a little off center so you can see it through the window. I could also put something on here, which might be nice. Oh, come on. That is cute. All right, let's just do a little bit of black stamping. All right, I have a couple different, one of these, this is Kath Holden, and these are Seth Apter stamps with signatures and things. And then let's get all of these guys over here. Oh, it's going to be fun to look at these all together, guys. This is really fun for me. Okay, so let's just start with this one. Okay, so I am just doing a voiceover because I'm going to speed this up. I like taking those long stamps and putting them down the edges of pages, and I would use the same stamp for a few different folios, doing some postage stamps there. Just adding a little interest in black. I always think black adds a lot to the pages. I did change to graphite and switch to some signatures and added a bunch of fun little signatures to places. It's also nice to add stamping along lines on a collage, like right there. And then I use this little tiny round stamp with some blue oxide ink, and I thought that was really a cute touch. Yeah. So I just wanted to do a little voiceover with that and speed that up a little bit. All right, let's just do a quick little look at these one by one just to see. I like the clock. That's great. Yeah. Nice little space for that. There's a little journaling space there. That will be a really nice addition to a journal. Okay, then we have this. Great. That was the first one I did. I really like this. I love the big floral fussy cut on there. I think that's great. Look at my hands. They're all dirty from inking. This is sweet. And yeah, I like being able to put it on that side of a page. Oh, just cute, right? And then we have this one, which I love. I may want to do a whole journal in this style and color scheme. I just think it's really special. Love the birdhouses, all the little components. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this. And actually, let's put a couple in the journal, right? This one for sure. And I think I'm going to save these two for another journal. Let's put them in. This is what we're doing. Okay, so the one that I made to go on that little gal, though. Gosh, which one was it? Now I'm going to have to figure that out. That was... There she is. Yeah, so I don't think it's this. I think it was this one, actually. So we will put that one in here because I made that specifically so you could see that little sweetie through there. Yep, that's it. And I gotta get my little clip. And put that on. I like that. No, this would actually be really pretty here. Wouldn't it? That would be nice on that page. Let's keep clipping. That's also cute. I kind of like that there. It's kind of fun. Very fun. All right, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this project. I am going to put Terry Colty's video in the description. I'll put a link to that because that was where I got this idea, and a lot of my images, some of them are from the Graphics Fairy, some are from, as I said, Rach and Bella, and just scrapbook paper that I had hanging around. These little sweet folio cards. Well, anyway, thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.